Listen closely, because the frequency of your life is about to shift. You are standing on the precipice of a transition so profound that your old self would barely recognize the person you're becoming. We are looking ahead to 2026, and I am here to tell you with absolute certainty that this is going to be your best year ever. But before you let that statement wash over you like a cliche, you need to understand the mechanics of why. This isn't about blind optimism. This isn't about manifesting perfection where nothing ever goes wrong again. That is a fairy tale, and you are far too seasoned for fairy tales. This is about reality. The reason 2026 will be your defining year is not because the world will suddenly become easy, but because you have become formidable. Think back to who you were just a few years ago. The version of you that existed then was operating on a different software, one built on pleasing others, on uncertainty, and on a foggy understanding of your own value. But look at you now. You are a different person. You have undergone a silent internal revolution. The change has been subtle, perhaps invisible to the people who see you every day, but you feel it in your gut. You have just begun to realize with crystal clarity what you actually want. That sounds simple, but it is the most dangerous and powerful realization a human being can have. For years, you navigated life based on what you thought you should want, or what others expected you to achieve. That noise is gone now. It has been replaced by a singular, focused signal. You know what you want, and for the first time in your life, you're not afraid to admit it to yourself. Even more importantly, you very definitely know what you do not want. This is the superpower that you have been cultivating in the shadows. There was a time when you would accept the bare minimum. There was a time when you would tolerate disrespect, inconsistency, or mediocrity because you feared rocking the boat or being alone. That version of you is dead. You are no longer prepared to accept the things that drain your spirit. You have drawn lines in the sand that are etched in stone, not water. This newfound ability to say no, to walk away from tables where respect is no longer being served, is the foundation upon which your 2026 will be built. You have cleared the debris from your life, creating the necessary space for abundance to finally enter. Let's talk about the pain. We have to acknowledge it because it was the catalyst. You have become much wiser about the things that tried to break you. We all have those moments in our timeline, the failures, the heartbreaks, the periods of crippling doubt where it felt like the walls were closing in. At the time, it felt like suffering. But looking back now, you can see it was training. Those fires didn't burn you into ash. They forged you into steel. You possess a wisdom now that cannot be taught in schools and cannot be bought with money. It is the wisdom of survival. Because you survived the worst of it, you no longer fear the unknown. You know that whatever 2026 throws at you, you have the toolkit to dismantle it, learn from it, and use it as fuel. You are done being a spectator in your own life. For too long, you have been standing on the sidelines, watching others make progress. You've scrolled through feeds, watched the highlight reels of strangers, and felt that pang of envy, not because you wish them ill, but because you recognized a potential in them that you were suppressing in yourself. You watched others grab hold of destiny while you told yourself a story about why you couldn't. You told yourself it wasn't the right time. You told yourself the market was too saturated, or that you needed more money or more support. You're not going to be that person anymore. You are not going to stand around watching others eat while you starve at the banquet of your own potential. That progress, that success, that happiness, it is yours to grab hold of. The excuses have run dry. You have exhausted every rationalization for staying small. You used to tell yourself you weren't good enough. You whispered lies to yourself in the dark. I'm not experienced enough. I'm not old enough to be taken seriously, or I'm not young enough to start over. You used your identity as a cage, but the truth you have uncovered is that you are all of these things and none of them. You are the perfect age to begin because you are alive now. Experience is not a prerequisite for starting. It is the reward for starting. You have realized that readiness is a myth. No one is ever 100% ready. You have to jump and build your wings on the way down, and you are finally ready to jump. The era of waiting for permission is over. This is perhaps the most critical shift that has happened within you over the last year. Since childhood, we are conditioned to wait for authority. We wait for a teacher to grade us, a boss to promote us, a partner to choose us. We wait for someone to tap us on the shoulder and say, "Okay, you're allowed to be great now." You have woken up to the reality that no one is coming to save you, and no one is coming to give you permission. You have to authorize yourself. You now know that you are better than the waiting game. You have developed a trust and belief in yourself that is unshakable. This isn't arrogance, it is self-assurance born from evidence. Where did this evidence come from? It came from the work. The tireless, unglamorous, repetitive work you have put in over the past year. We need to honor that work. Most people only celebrate the trophy, not the practice. But you know the truth. You know about the late nights. You know about the times you wanted to quit but didn't. You know about the sacrifices you made when nobody was watching. Actually, no one has noticed. To the outside world, you look the same. They haven't seen the internal architecture you've been building brick by brick. They don't know that you've been reconstructing your mindset, healing your traumas, and sharpening your skills. But the fact that they haven't noticed is your advantage. It means you are entering 2026 as a dark horse. This invisibility has changed you, it has humbled you and hardened you in the best possible way. It has made you independent of validation. You no longer need the applause to keep going. The work itself sustains you. This silent evolution has made you ready for 2026 and the rewards that you so richly deserve. And let's be clear, you do deserve them. Not because you are entitled, but because you have paid the price of admission. You have sowed the seeds during the winter of your life, and 2026 is the harvest. The law of cause and effect is absolute. You cannot put in this much energy, intention, and growth without the universe balancing the scales. The rewards are coming not by luck, but by law. So 2026 isn't just going to be another year. It isn't just a change in the calendar digit. It is going to be the year of change, the turning point, the pivot. This is the year where the internal reality you have built finally manifests into external reality. It is the year where the potential energy you have stored up transforms into kinetic energy. You are going to see movement in your career, your relationships, your health, and your finances, not because of magic, but because you are finally aligned. You are no longer fighting against yourself. You are no longer self-sabotaging. You are a projectile moving in a straight line toward your purpose. And you know what? I know you're ready. I can feel it in the way you are seeking this message. If you weren't ready, these words wouldn't resonate with you. They would sound like noise. The fact that you are here, listening to this, feeling this, is proof that your frequency is already tuning into this new reality. You have stripped away the dead weight. You have silenced the doubts. You're standing at the gate, the engine is revving, and the track is clear. Let's go deeper into what this readiness really looks like. Being ready for 2026 implies a shedding of the old skin. Think about the heavy coat of expectations you wore in 2024 and 2025. You wore the expectations of your family, perhaps trying to live out a life they designed for you. You wore the expectations of society, telling you by what age you should own a home, be married, or have a certain amount of money in the bank. Those heavy coats made it impossible to run. They weighed you down, making every step exhausted. But look at you now. You're taking them off. You are realizing that this is your life to live. The year 2026 is the year of autonomy. It is the year where you become the author, the director, and the lead actor of your own movie. This year will require a different kind of courage. In the past, you needed the courage to endure. You needed the courage to keep your head above water when the waves were crashing over you. That was survival courage. In 2026, you will need active courage. The courage to initiate. The courage to ask for what you want. The courage to launch the business. Send the text, buy the ticket, speak the truth. This is a different muscle, and you have been training it. You're no longer content with getting by. You're interested in breaking through. The difference between those two states of being is action. Massive, imperfect, relentless action. You are going to stop overthinking. Analysis paralysis has been the thief of your joy for too long. You have spent years analyzing every angle, predicting every failure, trying to safeguard yourself against pain, but you've realized that you cannot think your way into a new life. You have to act your way into it. In 2026, you will make moves before you feel fully ready. You will say yes to opportunities that scare you. You will understand that fear is not a stop sign. It is a compass. If it scares you and it excites you, it is exactly where you need to go. You are going to trust your gut instincts again. For a while, you stopped trusting yourself because of past mistakes. You thought, I made a bad choice before, so I can't trust my judgment now. But you have forgiven yourself for those mistakes. You've learned from them. Your intuition is sharper now because of those scars. Consider the people you surround yourself with. In previous years, you might have clung to friendships or relationships out of history rather than alignment. You kept people around because you had known them for 10 years, even if they drained your energy or belittled your dreams. 2026 is the year of curation. You're going to look at your circle and ask, are these people fanning my flames or dousing them? You are prepared to walk alone for a season if it means walking in peace, but you won't be alone for long. As you elevate your frequency, you will attract a new tribe. You will attract people who are also talking about growth, about ideas, about the future. You will find the people who are running the same race as you. Let's talk about your relationship with time. You used to feel like you were running out of it. The anxiety of the ticking clock kept you awake at night. You compared your chapter 5 to someone else's chapter 20. But a calmness has settled over you. You understand that your timeline is unique. You are not late. You're exactly where you need to be to launch this next phase. The struggles of the last few years were necessary to build the character required to hold the success that is coming. If you had achieved your dreams 3 years ago, you might have sabotaged them because you weren't ready. Now, you have the container to hold the blessing. Time is no longer your enemy, it is your ally. 2026 is also going to be the year of financial and professional clarity. You're done trading your time for pennies. You're done undervaluing your contribution. You're starting to see your skills not just as tasks you do, but as value you provide. This shift in perspective changes everything. When you value yourself, the world reflects that value back to you. You're going to negotiate harder. You're going to pitch bolder. You are going to create streams of value that operate even when you are sleeping. You are realizing that abundance is not a limited pie where if someone else takes a slice, there is less for you. You know there's enough for everyone, and you are finally grabbing a plate. But let's not forget the spiritual and emotional aspect of this turning point. You're finding peace in the pauses. In the past, you thought productivity meant constant motion. If you weren't sweating, you weren't working. You've learned the power of rest. You've learned that a quiet mind generates the loudest ideas. In 2026, you will prioritize your mental health not as a luxury, but as a necessity for high performance. You will protect your peace aggressively. You will engage in practices, whether it's meditation, prayer, walking, or writing, that tether you to your purpose. You're becoming a whole person, not just a working machine. This transformation is holistic. It's affecting how you dress, how you walk into a room, how you speak. Have you noticed? Your voice is a little steadier. Your eye contact is a little stronger. You are taking up space. You used to shrink to make others comfortable. You used to dim your light so you wouldn't blind people who were used to the dark. No more. In 2026, you are turning the dimmer switch all the way up. If your light is too bright for some people, they can wear sunglasses. You're not responsible for managing other people's insecurity anymore. You're only responsible for fulfilling your potential. The narrative you tell yourself has flipped. It used to be a tragedy. Now it is a hero's journey. You look at your past struggles not as evidence of your brokenness, but as the origin story of your strength. I survived that, you tell yourself. I got through that impossible year. I navigated that loss. And because you did that, you can do this. You're entering 2026 with a resume of resilience that is miles long. You are battle-tested. Nothing the new year brings can intimidate you because you have already faced your demons and won. This is why 2026 will be the best year ever. Not because the external world will be perfect, politics, economy, and society will always be chaotic. It will be the best year because your internal world is fortified. You are bringing a fortress of self-belief into the battlefield. You are bringing a clarity of vision that cuts through the fog. You are bringing a hunger that refuses to be suppressed. You are bringing the you that you were always meant to be. The chrysalis is opening, the wings are drying, the wind is picking up. Can you feel the momentum shifting? It's subtle, like the tide turning, but it's unstoppable. The setbacks of late 2024 and 2025 were just the pullback of the arrow on the bowstring. The further back you were pulled, the more tension was created, and the farther you are going to fly when you are released. 2026 is the release. You're about to fly into territories you only dreamed of. You're about to inhabit the life you used to visualize before falling asleep. You are standing at the threshold of 2026, not just surviving, but fortified. The release of that arrow we spoke of, the launch into your new potential, is not a passive event. It is an active, deliberate, and sometimes aggressive act of claiming what is yours. Part of why 2026 will be your best year is because you have fundamentally changed your relationship with action. In the past, your actions were often reactive, born out of panic, necessity, or the demands of others. You were firefighting, running from one crisis to the next, never having the bandwidth to build fireproof structures. That changes now. In 2026, your actions become intentional. You are no longer just busy, you are effective. You have learned the agonizing difference between movement and progress. You used to mistake sweating for achieving, running on a treadmill of tasks that took you nowhere. Now you have a map. Every step you take in 2026, even the small ones, is aligned with a North Star that you have clearly defined for yourself. This alignment is what creates momentum. When your daily actions seamlessly connect to your ultimate vision, friction disappears, and you enter a state of flow that you used to only read about. This new year will be defined by your newfound ability to embrace discomfort as a necessary companion to growth. You used to flee from discomfort. You sought the path of least resistance, the comfortable job, the easy relationship, the known routine. And who could blame you? The world is hard enough, but you've realized a brutal truth. The comfort zone is a beautiful place, but nothing ever grows there. You have made peace with the fact that the life you want is on the other side of the things you don't want to do. 2026 is the year you voluntarily step into the arena. You're going to have difficult conversations because you know they lead to clarity. You are going to wake up earlier, work out harder, study deeper, not because you enjoy the pain of discipline, but because you love the results it produces. You have shifted your focus from immediate gratification to long-term fulfillment. You are willing to pay the price today for the prize tomorrow. This delayed gratification is the hallmark of maturity, and it is the engine of success in 2026. Furthermore, your understanding of failure has undergone a radical transformation. This is perhaps the most liberating shift of all. For years, the fear of failure paralyzed you. You saw failure as a tombstone, a final verdict on your worth and ability. If you tried and missed the mark, it meant you were a failure. That definition is obsolete. You now see failure for what it really is: data. It is feedback from reality telling you what doesn't work so you can find what does. In 2026, you're going to fail more than ever before. But it won't feel like failing. It will feel like testing. You're a scientist in the laboratory of your life. Every experiment that doesn't yield the desired result brings you one step closer to the breakthrough. Because you have built that internal resilience we talked about, a setback in 2026 won't break you. It will just bounce off you. You have a shortening refractory period. Where it used to take you months to recover from a rejection or a loss, now it takes you days, maybe even hours. You dust yourself off, analyze the data, adjust your strategy, and go again. This relentlessness is terrifying to your obstacles. They cannot stop someone who refuses to stay down. Let's talk about the architecture of your daily life in 2026. The big dreams are glamorous, but the year is won in the trenches of Tuesday morning. You have stopped relying on motivation as your primary fuel source. Motivation is fickle. It's a fair weather friend that disappears when the alarm goes off at 5 a.m. on a cold, rainy morning. You have replaced motivation with discipline and systems. You have realized that you do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. In 2026, you're obsessively curating routines that make success inevitable. You're automating the good behaviors, so you don't have to use willpower to perform them. You're structuring your environment so that doing the right thing is the easiest option. This isn't sexy, it's boring, repetitive, unglamorous work. But you have fallen in love with the boredom because you know it is the compound interest that leads to exponential wealth in finances, in health, and in spirit. A significant element of this turning point year is your transition from a consumer to a creator. For too long, you have been on the receiving end of the world's information, entertainment, and agendas. You were a passive receptacle, scrolling and absorbing. 2026 is the year you grab the microphone. You are realizing that your voice, your perspective, your art, your business idea, your unique blueprint has intrinsic value that the world needs. You're stopping the endless intake of other people's content and starting the output of your own. This doesn't necessarily mean you become a social media star, though it could. It means you become an active participant in shaping reality rather than just observing it. You create solutions instead of just complaining about problems. You create connection instead of just consuming loneliness. When you shift into creator mode, you reclaim agency. You stop waiting for the world to give you what you want, and you start building it yourself. This reclaiming of agency leads to a radical level of responsibility that will define 2026. The victim mentality is completely eradicated from your operating system. You're finished blaming the economy, your upbringing, your ex-partner, or bad luck for your current situation. Even if those things contributed to where you are, you know that blaming them keeps you stuck there. In 2026, you adopt the empowering, sometimes terrifying stance that you are 100% responsible for your life from this moment forward. If you don't like your body, it's on you to change it. If you don't like your bank account, it's on you to fix it. If you don't like your relationships, it's on you to set boundaries or leave. This radical ownership is not about self-blame. It's about self-empowerment. When you own the problem, you also own the solution. You become the driver, not the passenger. You realize that you hold the pen, and if you don't like the chapter you're in, you have the power to write a new one. As you move through 2026 with this new energy, you will notice the external world reorganizing itself around you. Your vibe attracts your tribe, but it also repels what is no longer in alignment. Be prepared for some relationships to fade away. This is painful, but necessary. As you elevate, people who are committed to staying on the ground floor will naturally fall out of your orbit. You might find that old friends who bonded with you over mutual complaints or destructive habits no longer resonate. Don't cling to them out of nostalgia. Bless them and let them go. You are making space for the new guard. In 2026, you will attract mentors, partners, and friends who see your potential even more clearly than you do. These are the people who will challenge you to level up, who will hold you accountable, and who will celebrate your wins without a hint of jealousy because they are winning too. Your environment will become a greenhouse for your growth, rather than a desert you have to survive. The financial rewards of 2026 will be a direct reflection of this internal restructuring. You used to chase money, which often made it run away. Now, you attract abundance by becoming a person of high value. You have stopped asking, how can I get more? And started asking, how can I give more? You understand that money is simply an exchange of value. In 2026, you focus intensely on solving problems for others, on mastering your craft, on delivering excellence that cannot be ignored. When you do that, the money follows automatically. You're also healing your relationship with money, releasing the scarcity mindset that told you there was never enough. You are stepping into an abundance mindset that knows opportunities are limitless. You're no longer afraid to invest in yourself, in courses, in coaching, in tools, because you know you're your own best asset, and the return on investment will be infinite. Let's look deeper at the emotional landscape of your best year ever. It's important to understand that 2026 won't be a year without fear. You will still feel fear. The imposter syndrome will still try to whisper in your ear when you are about to step onto a bigger stage. The difference is that in 2026, fear is no longer in the driver's seat. It's in the passenger seat, maybe even locked in the trunk. You acknowledge its presence, but you do not take directions from it. You feel the fear and do it anyway. You have learned to reinterpret the physical sensations of fear, the racing heart, the sweaty palms, not as stop signs, but as indicators that you are about to do something important. You are turning anxiety into excitement. You are realizing that the things that scare you the most are usually the gateways to your biggest breakthroughs. You are also finally learning to trust the timing of your life. For so long, you felt behind. You looked at others who seemed to have made it at a younger age and felt a sense of failure. In 2026, you release that comparison completely. You understand that your journey is unique and your timeline is divine. The delays, the detours, the setbacks of the past, they were not mistakes. They were necessary preparation. You needed every single one of those experiences to develop the character, the empathy, and the resilience you have today. If you had achieved success earlier, you might have crushed under the weight of it. Now, you are built for it. You trust that what is meant for you will not pass you by. You're not frantic anymore. You are focused. You move with the calm assurance of someone who knows the outcome is inevitable as long as they do the work. This year, 2026, is also about integration. For a long time, you might have felt compartmentalized. There was the work you, the home you, the social you, all wearing different masks. This year, those masks come off. You're integrating all parts of yourself into one authentic, powerful whole. You are bringing your full self to everything you do. You are not afraid to be vulnerable in your professional life or disciplined in your personal life. This authenticity is magnetic. It draws opportunities and genuine connections to you because people crave realness in a world of filters. You're comfortable in your own skin, and that comfort makes others comfortable around you, opening doors that were previously locked by insecurity. Consider the legacy you're beginning to build in 2026. Up until now, you may have been focused on survival, on just getting through the week. Now your horizon expands. You are thinking about the footprint you will leave behind. What is the impact you want to have on your family, your community, your industry? This longer-term perspective shifts how you act today. You're no longer interested in quick fixes or shortcuts that compromise your integrity. You are building on bedrock. You're making decisions that your future self will thank you for 10 years from now. You're planting trees under whose shade you may never sit, and there's a profound satisfaction in that kind of selfless ambition. So, as you stand on this precipice, looking out at the landscape of 2026, do not shrink back. Do not let the old voices of doubt pull you back into the comfort of the familiar shadows. You have outgrown that small life. It doesn't fit you anymore. It pinches at the seams. The horizon before you is vast, terrifying, and absolutely magnificent. It is demanding that you rise to meet it. The reason 2026 is going to be your best year ever is simple. You are finally ready to be the person who can live that life. The waiting is over, the preparation is complete, the stage is set, and the spotlight is searching for you. Walk out there, take your place, own your power. The world has been waiting for you to show up as your fullest self. 2026 is the year you finally oblige. Let's get to work.